Hello and welcome. I'm Carol DeChaine, and I am an intuitive, a spiritual guide for practical matters, and a Marconic multidimensional energy practitioner and teacher. And this month, I am talking about heart centered businesses. I talked about what it was and why you might want one last week, and how to keep it once you had it when it comes to not getting so busy that you can't get from here to there. But what happens sometimes when you want to put out as an entrepreneur a heart-centered business and you hear crickets because you don't know how to get from here to there? And everybody says you don't need a website anymore, you just need social media. I'm not sure that's true, but what social media do you choose? So this is all about kind of social media. What do you do? And I'm no expert, I just know that I use them. Which ones do you use? Well, what kind of business do you have? Do you, and don't, number one, don't try and put something out on every single part of social media. There's LinkedIn, there's Twitter, there's um, all the other ones. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's uh, YouTube. Where do you begin? Number one, don't try and do all of them because you're going to run yourself ragged and you won't have time for clients or customers because you'll be doing all of that. You definitely need a website if you're selling a product. So make sure that you have a really good one set up. But when you're looking at social media, which is what this particular video is about, how many should you do? Well, maybe two. When you started out, start with one and get it going pretty good, and then do a second one. It depends nowadays because Facebook and Instagram you can do together. You can go on and from your business page and you can actually choose both of them in order to advertise at the same time, and you can schedule it. That works really well. You can also do an outside scheduler, but now you can schedule those two together. But if it's a picture, it has to be Instagram sized. It can't be just any old size like it can be pretty much for Facebook. So once you decide what you want, how many, you say, well, which direction should I take? There's all these different directions. What's your business? What kind of people do you want? What kind of age group do you want? So look at that. Do you want the TikTok group, which are usually a little younger group? Do you want the Instagram, which are also generally a little younger? Facebook tends to skew a little older. So if you look at who you're looking for, if you're dealing with seniors, pretty much the only place you're going to find them besides senior centers and is Facebook. Because there's, of course, there's plenty of people that are up as you get older that they're learning and they have time, so they're learning things and they're out there on some of the other platforms as well. But LinkedIn and Facebook are more the ones that they know because they're the older ones. So if you have a business, as in business this way, mostly where you want to advertise is LinkedIn. If you can really learn it, really learn what the posts are, how to connect to other people, and really work your way through that, then you'll have some good connections. You can make some good places that way. You can make some very good people, meet them, talk to them. But if it's sort of I'm not really, I don't know, like with me, I'm a life coach, I'm a spiritual coach. LinkedIn is not really my thing because it doesn't really impact the people I want to talk to. So maybe I want to go to Facebook. Facebook is a little older group, and age-wise, it tends to skew maybe a little older, but really not terribly older. I don't usually have the 20 somethings and the early 30s, but after that, people who are more spiritual will connect with me for life coaching and intuitive readings and things. Sometimes they'll skew a little younger. So when you look at it and you go, this people over here, and the Facebook have lots of groups you can connect with. The business page doesn't do a ton. People don't tend to see it as much. I gotta say, unfortunately, they keep skewing it so that people don't see things as often. But if you look at the different groups you can join and you can connect to and talk about and maybe advertise once in a while what you're doing, then that makes it very interesting. That makes it something where you can put a post in, say some stuff, and then step back and respond to other people so they get to know you. So Facebook is especially good for groups if you can get in and start to talk. Sometimes if you have enough friends, you just have to mention it and it goes wild. But that's when you're lucky because things, you can't expect anything to go viral. If it does, that's fabulous. You can get better and better ideas maybe on how to post and what to say. Pictures always draw attention. But when you're deciding which one, okay, so you have LinkedIn business more, and you can use that for all different types of businesses, but I tend to skew more traditional. Then you have the Facebook business page, and you have the groups that you can join there as well as personal. And I would say if you use your personal for your pictures of your family and your friends, do not use that for your business. Depending on your business, you can mention it. You can share some of the stuff from your business page if you're posting. But I tend to keep my personal page just business. Once in a while, I'll post something that I just post to friends and family, which I think other people can see public. But I usually make all of my videos and my pictures and all of the things I say public. And that's the way I have it for Facebook, unless I choose my private page. I mean, my private stuff. You can change it for a specific post because I want everybody to see it. And I have people I don't know responding to my posts on Facebook and my personal page. Sometimes it's a little odd, and sometimes it's clients that end up, people that end up becoming clients. So just know that there is no wrong answer, but if you get no traction in a certain social media, either you need to learn more about it, go to YouTube, ask how to use it, type it in, going, how do I use Facebook to blah, blah, blah? How do I use this Instagram to blah, blah, blah? Or how do I set up something on TikTok? Whatever it may be, if you want to try it. But watch the different, do some research. Check it out. You can watch a lot of different TikTok videos and see if that's something that you want to do. I mean, just talking like this, like I'm doing, I could do on TikTok. But it's not necessarily going to be that interesting for people. The ones that are fun are the unusual ones, the ones that they clip things together. I have no idea how to do any of that. But I know people that do, and they have fun with it. And some people get a lot of followers, or whatever they call them on TikTok. And then Instagram as well. That's something that you can get a lot of connection. You can get how to's. You can pay money to learn how to do these, or you can hire somebody. And next week, I'm going to talk about hiring VAs and virtual assistants, if you don't know, on what they can do for you, the different types of things you can ask them to do. I've had a number of them over the years to try and help me make my life easier. Social media is something that can overwhelm and overrun you. So you want to be sure that if you decide you want to post once a week, if you pick one that can schedule things, and I noticed you can no longer, and I'm not sure if you ever could, but you can't schedule on your personal page on Facebook anymore. But you can schedule Facebook and Instagram in Facebook for as often as you want it to come out. So if I do 4 to 7 a week and I have figured out what I want the post to look like, I'll spend a few hours one day going through and figuring out the pictures just for fun when I'm watching TV, and I'll save a bunch of different pictures I want to use on usually on Canva or on Pixabay or the different ones that you're allowed to do that are free. So nobody hates you if you use their pictures because they've already created them. So you can go on and create your own on Canva, or you can find them where it's okay to use them without getting into trouble on some other websites. So when you're doing those and creating those and scheduling those, it can take you don't have to worry about doing it every day. And if you're busy, every day is not going to work. But maybe Sunday evening from 6 to 8, you find a way, you go through your calendar, figure out what you want, and you go ahead and get those out. And I do highly recommend talking to a social media consultant at least once, at least for one session, so that they can help you come up with a plan for what you want to put out there, which maybe to use, who's a real expert on it, and also what you want your calendar to look like. Because if you can have a calendar for the month and say, okay, Monday through Friday, maybe it's the same every Monday through Friday, so you don't have to worry about it. So, for example, I have a podcast called Living Your Limitless Life, and it comes out on Wednesdays. And I advertise on Facebook and Instagram right now. I've changed it to just those two. And when I do that, then I go ahead and I have it's coming tomorrow on Tuesday, and Wednesday's the actual letting out of the podcast. So Wednesday again, sometimes I have a sound that you can listen to, and it's Tuesday, Wednesday. Then you go from there, and Monday I have an old blog I'll do on 2 different days. I have a day talking about Marconics. I have another day talking about something else. So you can go through your week and figure it out. I just have one that's fun one day, just to bring joy to somebody. So if you look at all those different things that you go along, those are the things that you can just get on your calendar so that things feel a little more in control. You're not going, oh, what am I doing? And that will help if you can get a social media consultant just to put that together for you. And that can be maybe an hour or two one time, or maybe, and I'm going to talk in the next one about hiring someone. So that's also a possibility. So, social media, where do you start? Anywhere you want. Just look at it, figure out which one feels right to you, and just start there and see if it works. If it doesn't do what you want it to do, learn more about it, see if you can't do better with it. And if it's not that one, then maybe it's a different one that's right for you. I didn't have Instagram for a long time until I hired a social media person, and then I went, do Instagram, I want to get some followers. And that was when things happened, when things kind of took off. So thank you for joining me here today. I'm Carol DeChaine. If you like what you hear, by all means, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell notification. And if you'd like to know more about Marconics multidimensional energy or about my podcast, you can find more information on either my website, which is connecttojoy.com, or on Living Your Limitless Life podcast. And both of those links will be below this video. Until next week, please know that you are already enough to have that joyful, limitless life that you desire.